thinking about the greatest Dominican pitchers of all time, Pedro Martinez, Juan Marichal, and Bartolo Colon are at the top of the list. But when comparing wins, Marichal reigns supreme. The Dominican dandy was one of the greatest control pitchers of his time. Renowned for his ultra-high leg kick, Marichal won more games in the 1960s than any other pitcher. He was the first Latino to toss a no-hitter, the first to 200 wins, and the first Dominican-born player inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. A spot-up specialist in his own right, Big Sexy has amassed 241 wins in 21 seasons, 2 victories shy of his fellow countrymen. Can Colon inch closer to Marichal's mark today?
Well, they're heading in this afternoon. Final game in this series, Rangers and Tigers. What a great pitching matchup we have for you here today. The Big Sexy Bartolo Colon out to the hill for the Rangers. That is always cause for celebration. And meanwhile, on the other side of things today, Francisco Liriano, maybe the best performance so far by a Tigers pitcher, 3-1 to start the year. So welcome in, everybody. If you like good pitching, hopefully today, a day where you will see some of that. We'll see what kind of offense these two teams are able to provide. Last night, the Rangers came up short in the middle game of this series, but they did see the return of Adrian Beltre, which was great.
Yeah, you know, Dave, we were talking last night about having a hard time coming up with things to say about Adrian Beltre. All I can say is when he comes back from an injury without any rehab and goes 3 for 4, it's pretty much routine. This is what he does. In last night's game, it took him his second at bat before he got his first hit back. Then later in the game, with the Rangers trying to rally, he had an RBI hit in the 6th and an RBI hit in the 8th. Prior to his injury, he was hitting .360 in 17 games. What's he do his first game back? He goes 3 for 4. All you can say is he just continues to amaze us, but it's becoming pretty routine for him.
I know it's just amazing to think, but it has been. It has been so much fun to see him play. So he'll be in there today, but as the DH. You know, the other side of this thing are the Detroit Tigers, and the left side of their infield has shown us some stuff this series.
They have, and the Tigers are obviously rebuilding. When you look at the left side of the infield, go to third base and take a look at Jeimer Candelaria. This kid has 19 extra base hits. That's tied for 7th in the American League. Last night he had a home run in the first inning to start the Tigers scoring. He had a double later on. Really good-looking young player. Key position at third base, looks like a top-of-the-order guy. At shortstop, Jose Iglesias, very slick fielding shortstop. He had a 2-run homer in the second inning last night that made the score of the game 5-0. He's hitting close to 300 in his last 23 games. So 2 good young players as the Tigers tried to rebuild for the future.
Well, it is all about great young players in this game. The Rangers have one, and Jurickson Profar. Starting to see some good things out of him, and he's in the spotlight when we come back. Rangers baseball. Tell you what, the weather we've gotten on this homestand has been just spectacular. Another beautiful day here at Globe Life Park. A Wednesday afternoon. Jurickson Profar in the lineup again today, as he has been so often lately, and we were just teasing it as we were going to break. We put him in our Shiner Box spotlight today because he's done such a nice job.
Yeah, he's done some nice things in this series. In the first game of the series, in the 7th inning, he shot that triple to right center field to give the Rangers a 7-6 lead. That will be the final score of the game. And then in the game yesterday, he hit a changeup off the facing of the upper deck for the Rangers' first run. He hit that in the 5th inning. So a couple of nice games for Jurickson Profar. The other thing you like about Jurickson lately is he's swinging the bat against left-handed pitching. He's actually now 6th in the American League with a .385 average against left-handed pitching, and that was something that plagued him a little bit over the last couple of years. Right now it's a strength.
Yeah, he'll be very important today, batting 6th in the order and playing shortstop against a tough lefty in Francisco Liriano. It is always about pitching, and even more so when Bartolo Colon is the guy on the mound for the Rangers. And for more on Big Bart, let's check in with Leslie McCaslin.
Well, guys, Robinson Chirinos was a late scratch in the lineup due to left wrist soreness, but I had a chance to talk to him before the game about Colon and the fact that he went at least 7 innings in his last 2 starts, and he told me he should be able to. He should be able to give this team some distance, because when he throws strikes, the ball moves so much that people swing, and it makes for some really quick innings, which in turn helps the bullpen. They hope to get that from him today. In fact, when I talked to Jeff Bannister about it as well, he said, as long as he stays efficient, we're going to keep rolling him out there, Dave.
He has been delightful, averaging just a shade more than 13 pitches per inning pitched this year. One of the most efficient in baseball. So he is just about ready to go. Big Sexy out there to face these Tigers at 15-20. The Tigers 2 games back of the Cleveland Indians in the Central Division. Bartolo Colon not only just looking for a win for himself, but a chance to get the Rangers their first home winning series of the year. Now here's who he will deal with today. Leading it off is center fielder Jacoby Jones. Jeimer Candelario, the third baseman, bats second. Mikey Matuk called up and placed in left field. John Hicks at first base. Nicky Goodrum in right field. James McCann, the DH. Grayson Griner, the catcher. Jose Iglesias and Pete Cosmo, second baseman, rounding it out for Detroit.
And for Bartolo Colon, the pitch arsenal. He will throw a lot of 2-seam fastballs. In fact, almost 85% of the time. He'll also throw some changeups and sliders, depending on how the game goes, maybe who the team is he's facing. Sometimes you'll see more changeups and sliders, but as long as that 2-seam fastball is going where he wants it to, and he's getting the desired result, which is usually a ground ball, then he'll keep throwing it one right after the other. Let's take a look at the Rangers defense, which is delivered by Chicken Express. Ryan Rua gets the start in left field. It's again Delino and Nomar in center field and right field. At third base, Renato Nunez starts. Joey Gallows at first base. Up the middle, Jurickson Profar, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, and behind the plate, Carlos Perez.
Well, we are ready to go this afternoon. Bartolo out there, 1 win, 1 loss, 3.29 ERA, and this is his 6th start of the season. Big fella winds it up, and Jacoby Jones will take high for ball 1. So we're underway this afternoon. Last we will see of Detroit here in Arlington. The Rangers will head out to Motor City later in July. .83 degrees at game time today. Yeah, that fastball a little bit outside, so 2-1 to Jacoby Jones, a .235 hitter. Bartolo not one to wait around, and a ground ball, third base. Picked over there by Nunez, 1 away.
Now, when you talk about Bartolo Colon and the style that he has now, he's one of those pitchers when he's pitching well that hitters will say, you know, he's tough, but he's a comfortable 0 for 4. And by that, what they mean is he doesn't do anything that surprises them. He doesn't do anything that's necessarily intimidating. you pretty much know what he's going to throw. He's going to throw a sinker most of the time, but because of the precise location when he's throwing well and the movement, he can get you out. So that's comfortable. Uncomfortable is when you face someone throwing 100 miles an hour and every now and then they come at your head and he's got a curveball that buckles your knees. Those are uncomfortable 0 for 4s, but it's comfortable facing Bartolo. Doesn't mean you're going to have success, though.
Chopper to second base, and Candelario erased quickly. 2 gone.
In his last 2 starts, he had 11 ground ball outs in each one of those starts. His ground ball rate is right about where it is at his best, 49 or 50% of the time. And so far, 2 batters, 2 ground balls. That's nice to see.
To the point of an uncomfortable offer, maybe like James Paxton yesterday.
James Paxton would be uncomfortable. Justin Verlander's uncomfortable for sure. Lance McCullers is uncomfortable, just to name a few. There's so many of them that are uncomfortable.
Well, here's Mikey Matuk.
But comfortable with a good pitcher shouldn't be mistaken for he's easy, you're going to have a great day. It's comfortable because you're not intimidated by the stuff, but maybe frustrated at the end of the game when you haven't done anything against it.
1-2 the count on Matuk. Just called up yesterday prior to the game from AAA Toledo. Hit 250 with the Mud Hens. And he takes outside. It's 2-2. But Matuk, a guy that we have seen over the years. First saw him with the Tampa Bay Rays. 28 years old now. And he hits this one over short. That's a base hit into the alley in left. Matuk will pedal into second base. Thinking about 3. He's on the way. Here comes the relay. Not in time. And Matuk with a 2-out triple here in the first.
And Bartolo's last start against the Red Sox, he gave up 4 solo home runs, and occasionally in that game the sinker came back out over the plate, and that's what happened on this one. You'll see the movement bringing it back, but it's right in the hitter's zone. Fortunately, Matuk hit a triple and not a home run. The Red Sox have a lot more power than the Tigers. Tigers have, even though they hit 3 last night, the fewest amount of home runs in the American League.
Well, now John Hicks, and he foul tips a strike. 1 for 8 in the series. Hicks has started all 3 games at first base. They have 3 guys who are listed on the roster as catchers, and Hicks one of them. In fact, the great majority of his professional career has been behind the plate. Well, filling in at first base lately. I mentioned it last couple of nights. Miguel Cabrera on the disabled list. As this one lofted out to right field. Easy play for Mazzara, and the inning is done. So the Tigers waste a 2-out triple from Matuk. Bartolo Colon posts his first goose egg of the afternoon. Look at the lineup today. Delano to Shields in center field. Kiner Falefa at second. Mazar on right, and Adrian Beltre the DH. Gallo at first. Profar short. Nunez, Rua, and Carlos Perez the catcher rounding it out for the Rangers. They face the veteran left-hander Francisco Liriano, off to a very nice start this year. Shields tries to bunt but fouls off strike one. Delano has the average up over 300 coming into play today. Couple of home runs, including one on this homestand. And he has been the spark plug for this offense. In a hole here, though, 0-2. 2 hits yesterday for Delano, a couple of runs scored. In fact, he has multiple hits now in 7 of his last 10 games. 1-2. Liriano, I mentioned, off to the great start this year. 2.97 ERA to go with that 3-1 record. He's 34 years old now. And he just misses in.
He still has some pretty good zip on his fastball. Get his fastball up there, 91, 94 miles an hour. When he's in the middle of a good game, he's got a really good changeup. And you might say his out pitch is his slider, especially the left-hand hitters.
Full count now on to Shields. And that one inside, so Delano takes the walk.
Yeah, even with a nice start that Liriano has had coming into the game, he'd walk 16 in 36 innings. That's a few more than you'd like to see. And right off the bat, he probably does exactly what he went into the game saying he wouldn't want to do in this game, and that's walk Delano to Shields. Delano is a 300 hitter, but at the same time, you want to make him put the ball in play, not give him a free base with his speed.
So Delano, modest lead, and Kiner Falefa takes a strike. 245 average for Isaiah. A couple of hits in this series, driven in 2. Bluff. But the ball gets away, and DeShields takes off, and he'll have second base. And he took that bluff. You could look at it as a secondary lead as well, but a good read on that ball in the dirt with his speed. Forget about it.
Yep, exactly right, Dave. Not sure if he was bluffing all the way or whether he didn't get the jump he wanted and stopped. In any event, as soon as that ball went in the dirt, he was gone.
A wild pitch on Liriano. Command a bit of an issue here. And now he'll fake one back to second. All right. Nobody covering, but Delano.
Yeah, as a runner, you're not positive there's no one covering. That shortstop might have been sneaking behind you. Better to be safe than sorry.
One and 2 on Kiner Falefa. Well, it's a 25th consecutive start now for Kiner Falefa. Most of them at second base, but of course he has filled in capably at third. He's made a couple of starts at shortstop. Been able to use him all over the infield. And you start looking at the rookie numbers now in the American League. And there he is, Kiner Falefa, third with 23 hits. He's among the top 5 in doubles and total bases, runs scored, RBIs. So real nice start for him. Yeah, hits for American League rookies. And Duhar with the Yankees at 30. And Joey Wendell, he is a rookie, although got plenty of time last year as well, just short of rookie status last year. This ball hit on the ground foul, 2-2.
Want to make sure it's authentic.
It's in the cheap stuff, is it?
I don't think so.
2-2 and another bouncer foul.
Take a look at Francisco Liriano's pitches in his pitch arsenal. Throw the fastball less than half the time. A lot of sliders, especially the left-hand hitters. He throws the slider well over 50% of the time, sometimes to left-hand hitters, and a lot of changeups too. So a nice mixture of 3 very good pitches when he's throwing well, when he's commanding them. He can, at times, get a little wild.
Seems like he's fighting it a little bit right now. It's early. We'll talk about what a great start it has been for him. He's allowed 3 runs or fewer in all 6 of his starts this year. Delano running, and there's a bouncer up the middle. Delano's safe easily. Iglesias throws out Kiner Falefa, 1 away.
And third, the right fielder, number 30, Mazara.
Well, Delano obviously had a nice jump. 3-2. Kiner Falefa put the ball in play. Delano probably would have gotten the third on that one anyway. Would have been hit behind him. Tigers play the infield in right here with Nomar at the plate.
Wow, that maybe a little insight into how Ron Gardenhire is thinking of things today. It could be what he thinks of his lineup, or maybe the respect he has for Bartolo Colon. Expects this to be a low-scoring game, obviously. Mazara takes one very high for a ball.
Yeah, with Miguel Cabrera on the disabled list, and then Nicholas Castellanos and Victor Martinez out of the lineup, the Tigers aren't looking at a lot of firepower today. That's a slider, and left-hand hitters will see a lot of sliders today. That's definitely his out pitch to left-hand hitters.
What a challenge today for Mazara and for Joey Gallo. Liriano has allowed 3 hits this year to left-handed hitters. 2-1. Lefties are 3 for 34 against him, so that's a batting average well below 100. Not that lefties are crushing him, or rather righties are crushing him. Righties hitting just 225 off of him. Borderline strike, it's 2-2.
Yeah, and as a 34-year-old, he's not one of those guys that's dropped down from the mid-90s to the high 80s with velocity. Maybe a tick below where he was when he was younger, but still has plenty of velocity. That last pitch was 93 miles an hour.
Full count again. I think he's gone a full count now on all 3 hitters.
And this is going to be his 20th pitch, and we're only in the 3rd hitter of the game. Tigers' strength is definitely not their bullpen.
I see a little huffing and puffing going on out there. 6'3", 220 pounds. Liriano. And his 3-2. That one's up and in. So ball 4, his second walk. Rangers have him on the corners.
Take a look at the Tiger defense. Mikey Matuk just called up from the minor leagues is in left. Jacoby Jones in center. Nico Goodwin is in right field. In the infield, we talked about Jamer Candelaria, Jose Iglesias on the left side of the infield. In the open of the show, Pete Kozma actually played for the Rangers last year as at second base. John Hicks is at first, and Grayson Greiner is behind the plate. First time we'll see Grayson Greiner in this series.
So runners on the corners for Adrian Beltre. 3 hits last night in his first game back, and he takes very high for a ball. DHing today. For a little more on that, let's check in again with Leslie.
Yeah, guys, he's DHing today, but that's not something that they decided after last night's game. That's something that they previously had scheduled out. They want to make sure he's got his legs under him. And of course, after 3 hits, he was on the bases all night last night. So giving him some rest, DHing, and then hopefully with the day off Thursday, he'll be ready to go for this weekend against Houston.
Thanks, Leslie.
Well, it sounds like a sensible plan.
Well, we learned yesterday he can't control his legs.
Someone has to do it for him.
Yeah. Average at 330.
Liriano's already thrown 22 pitches. Only 10 of them have been strikes. He hasn't thrown over 100 pitches in any of his 6 starts yet. But even under 100 pitches, he still went 7 strong innings in his last start. Doesn't look like 7 innings so far, though.
No, based on what we're seeing right now, you wouldn't expect him to go real deep in this game. Although we could have said the same thing last night about Mike Minor, and he did a great job of recovering. This ball hit well into left field, and it sinks in front of Montauk. The Shields is in. Mazzara stops at second. So Beltre drives in the first run of the game. And the Rangers lead 1-0.
In Adrian's last 3 at-bats, the last 2 at-bats last night when the Rangers were trying to rally, and all the way into today's game in the first inning, his last 3 at-bats, 3 RBI singles in his last 3 at-bats. High fastball, probably not a strike. Adrian still hit a line shot into left field with that pitch for the Rangers' first run. And when a guy like Liriano is struggling, you don't want to give him a chance to get him back together again by letting him weasel out of an inning. Want to pack some runs on.
So Mazzara and Beltre out there now for Gallo. Oh, with that RBI single by Beltre moves him now officially past Tony Perez. 27th, all by his lonesome now. 1,653 RBIs. Next on the list, Sammy Sosa. Gallo with 12 home runs and the .217 average. Yesterday was 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. It's 2-1. Joey, I mean, it's not exactly like a revelation, but he's an extra base guy. He's not going to hit a lot of singles. Hasn't in his career. His count goes to 2-2. Each of his last 5 hits have all been extra base hits. 4 of them homers. The other one a double. And on Saturday in that game against the Red Sox, he hit 2 home runs. Two, and he swings and misses strike 3. So that is the second out of the inning. And once again, Liriano doing what he does against left-handed hitters.
He's been very tough on lefties, and that's the reason why. That slider. Had to throw a lot of pitches, but he's on the verge of sneaking out of this inning with only 1 run. Maybe Jurickson, who's hit .385 this year against left-handed pitching, can put a little exclamation point on this first inning. 1 run's nice. A few more would be even better.
Now we talk about the ways in which Profar has shown growth this year, and that's certainly one of them. I mean, really doing a great job against lefties, and the .385 average, very good, 6th best in the league. As this one is lifted high in the air to shallow right. That's racing in on it from right field is Goodrum, but Cosmo able to get out there and make the play. All right, the inning is done, but the Rangers draw first blood today. Adrian Beltre, the ageless one, able to get it done with an RBI single. It's 1-0. The second inning on top 1-0. And Bartolo to Goodrum for strike one. Nico Goodrum, James McCann, and Grayson Griner do this inning for Detroit. And this one lofted out of play to the left side. Tigers with a lot of young players in their lineup. I mean, in general, this is a rebuild situation for them. Ron Gardenhire, first year as the skipper here. Quite honestly, when you look at the numbers, I mean, really not bad at all. 15 wins, 20 losses. And it's 2-2. Goodrum, one of the young guys on this team, 26 years old, and he shows a pretty good eye right there. It's a full count. Payoff pitch, and there's a bouncer right side, and Kiner Falefa makes the play. One away. We talked about how young they are, and look, I mean, they've got a couple of very veteran players in Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez. You see the number of games they've played in their careers, either one of them vastly more than the entire lineup today combined for the Tigers. So just a little sense of some of the youth and inexperience that they're trotting out there this afternoon. Less than 1,800 career games. And James McCann takes high for a ball.
Yeah, this is one of the more inexperienced lineups that you'll see.
1-1. Hey, think of their lack of experience juxtaposed to his career. He's probably, I don't know, how many games do you suppose Colon has watched or been on the bench? I mean, obviously as a starter you don't play in nearly as many games. So
well, he's played for 20 years. That's 2,000. That's 3,000. That's 32 or 3,300 games that he's sat in the dugout for, whether he's pitched or not.
So let's see, just take his.
How many did he started? 600.
This is sixth start today, so that gives him 534 starts, almost a third of the number of games in which all of those Tigers today have played in their careers. That's silly. There's a liner down to first. Wow, that thing. We've seen a couple of these already today. Hot shots down that first base side, and that's a scary moment down there for Ramon Santiago. He appears to be fine, but got on him in a hurry. Gardenhire out of the dugout along with their head athletic trainer.
Poor, you're out there kind of on an island all by yourself. If you're in the dugout, you can go down on one knee and sneak back into the clubhouse. You're out there coaching first base. There's nowhere to go. That ball hit him pretty good. Says he's okay.
Yeah, they're gonna take a good hard look at him anyway. He continues to wave everybody off.
A couple of the umpires over there, they can identify with that. Each one of them is on an island out there, and occasionally they'll get hit by a line drive, so they know the feeling.
Santiago, okay. Yeah, then little help, little instruction. Not here, hit it out there. I can't help you down here.
Remember the one that went at Tommy Lasorda in the All-Star game when he was coaching third base?
Not hit quite as hard as that one. And a lot more dramatic. 2-2. And this one fouled over that right side again. James McCann doing pretty good battle here. The DH this afternoon. McCann caught the first two games of this series. This will be the seventh pitch of the at-bat. Bouncer third base side, and this time the third base coach Dave Clark with the good hands down there. couldn't come up with a quick Dave Clark 5 song for you. That's got to be your wheelhouse, right?
Yeah, I can think of a few, but I'm sure not going to try to sing them on the air.
2-2.
My grandkids might be listening. I don't want their grandfather to embarrass them.
There's Dave. Great baseball man. He is around for many years now. Is this one fouled away? Can really hanging in. This will be the 10th pitch of the at bat.
Yeah, that's one thing Bartolo doesn't have, is many long at bats like this. Generally, if a player is going to swing that many times, they're going to put the ball in play.
Well, he's had a lot of innings probably with fewer pitches than this one at bat. And there's strike 3 called. His first strikeout of the afternoon. It took a little while, but he takes care of McCann.
That pitch is almost right down the middle of the plate. I'm not sure James McCann saw that pitch very well. No, actually, it's a little closer. I was fooled by the number. 87 was closer to the middle of the plate, where the ball hit was right at the top of the strike zone.
So now Griner, and he takes high. Our Kubota power stats. Now Bartolo Colon. 66 wins since turning 40 years old. That is 9th all time. We do this all the time with Bartolo, and it's kind of fun to do. Bouncer, third base. Long throw for Nunez, and a dig over at first. But Gallo had to come off the bag. Didn't get it cleanly. And Griner is aboard. That'll be a hit.
I saw Renato make a couple of plays like this the other day when he started at third base. This one's actually a longer throw than either one of them. Does a nice job of getting to the ball. It's going to take a long throw to get the batter. Would have had him with a good throw. Actually had plenty of time.
So it brings up Jose Iglesias. 228 average. Iglesias batting 8th today. Though he does bat at the bottom of the order, he has been productive in this series. Three hits in the series, including a home run, his first of the year. Quick throw over to first. Yeah, so this was Iglesias yesterday. And early in the game, the ball was flying.
It sure was. He hit this ball to the opposite field. That was a 2-run homer. Made the score 5-0 for the Tigers early in the game. First time through the lineup.
Iglesias trying to bunt his way on. 1-1 the count. He's a guy who can get hot though, especially inside a game. He's had more of the big games at the plate than anybody on this team. We were talking earlier about Adrian Beltre with the 3-hit night yesterday. Well, Iglesias has 13 3-hit games already this year. Definitely known more for his glove than his bat. Reaches out and pulls this one foul.
Very unusual start for Bartolo in that in the second inning he'll be making his 38th pitch right here. Tigers have fouled a lot of pitches off.
There's 1-2. Another foul ball. They're up there hacking. He keeps filling up the strike zone. Not quite missing the bats as he has done so much earlier in the year. The 1-2 again, and there's a chopper to second base. Kiner Falefa sets up, and that will do it here in the second inning. So no harm done. We've played 1.5, and the Rangers lead 1-0. This was as we were going to break. Bartolo coming off the mound, and he checks in with Ramon Santiago. You all right?
I'd love to know what the last thing he said was.
Right. Well, bottom third of the order now. Renato Nunez leading things off in the second.
When you think of how many years Bartolo's played, 20+ years, how many teams he's played on, 11 teams. There are players all over baseball, coaches all over baseball who have played with him. So he probably knows just about everybody.
Well, that's a fair ball. And Griner, it looked like he hit it with his foot. And it kicked away from him. So that is a hit for Renato Nunez. Let's get the exit velocity of that one.
Yeah, in the distance. He didn't see it right off the bat. It goes down. You can see it bounce straight up there. He doesn't know where it is. So when he finally locates it, probably not ready to play the spin that was on that ball. When it hit, it was not going to bounce straight up again. It was going to spin, bounce, and go in a crazy direction. That's kind of what happened to him. Spun and went right straight to the left.
And cut a little piece of his shin guard, and at that point, it's a fair ball. So Nunez is on, and now Ryan Rua starting left field, batting 8th, and he lifts it high in the air down the right side. Goodrum might have lost it for a moment. Now on the dead sprint, and he gets to it.
Boy, that's a nice play.
Ooh.
Wind definitely held that ball up. Ball girl and the security guard just barely got out of the way. I think it probably fooled them when they saw it go up. They probably thought it was going to go a little farther too. And here comes Goodrum. Saw it all the way, but after it got knocked down, that's pretty nice concentration. You've got 2 people in your way, getting out of your way, the corner of the wall, and a ball that didn't go as far as you thought it was going to go. So it looks like a simple pop-up, but turned out it wasn't.
Carlos Perez takes the ball now. Perez was a late add to the lineup today. Robinson Chirinos scratched that wrist bothering him again. His left wrist. And so with an off day tomorrow, seemed like the right day to get him a little extra time, and Perez gets the start. That shifted the order a little bit because Chirinos was in there in the 7th spot of the order, so they moved Nunez and Rua up a spot each. Perez looking for his first hit as a Ranger. 0 for 6 so far, but he's ahead here 3-0. You were saying about Bartolo, Tom, that he probably knows half the coaching staff of every team and a lot of their players. I notice when he leaves after every inning, I mean, it's pretty much without fail, he's going to stop and talk to somebody on the other team.
Yeah, he's probably played with but not all of them, but with a lot of them. Jackie Moore used to be like that, Ranger coach.
Oh,
Jackie
yeah.
was with so many teams, was in baseball for so long. And I'll finish it later.
One hopper and a turn at second. Good for the double play. 6-4-3, and the inning is done. And so the big sexy will go back to work.
At the ballpark today, but this is how it is in my family. The girls like to do the talking a little bit more, so we're gonna let Addison talk. Addison, what's the best thing about your brother on his birthday?
The best thing about my brother is that he always puts me before himself, and he does that like all the time, so that's what I love about him.
That's awesome. What a great big sister. And guys, get this, not only are they our progressive fan of the games, there you go guys, they skip school to come out here and watch the Rangers, but that stays right between us.
Yeah, that's our little secret.
Wow, I wonder how many sisters can say that about their brother.
Not many.
He must be a great brother.
That's high praise.
Wow.
Well, here's Pete Kozma, the former Ranger, now playing for the Tigers. In fact, I think it was last year we were in Detroit where Kozma hit a home run for the Rangers against the Tigers. 7th year in the big leagues. He's been up and down a little bit. A lot of clubs. And he taps this one foul. 2-2 the count.
They were talking about Jackie Moore like Bartolo Colon. He coached, played in the minor leagues, coached in the minor leagues, managed both places, and over 50, 55, 60 years, there wasn't a city we went to where people didn't come out of the front office down in the field. I remember Paul Beeston, the president of Toronto, came all the way from his office down on the field during batting practice, and it happened everywhere we went. So I guess between Jackie and Bartolo Colon, they probably know a large percentage of players.
Kozma has returned the favor as a Tiger now against the Rangers. a solo home run off Bartolo Colon, and he has tied this game at 1.
Well, it appeared that ball carried pretty well. Cosma hit it pretty well, but over the 390 sign in the left center field it ended up. That was a little bit like the ball that Matuk had. It had the movement, it just didn't start out in the right place. It started out on the outside corner and then came back to the inside part of the plate, near the middle of the plate. That's why Cosma hit it so well.
It's his 5th career home run, but it is even the score here, and Jacoby Jones follows with a base hit to right. So 3rd inning off to a good start for the Tigers. We'll try and break up the mojo here just a little bit. How about a Chevy game break? Let's check in with Rick Renner. Yeah, well, that was neat to see the A's fans, of course, recognize him, and what a story he has been, and that whole situation has been, as Jeimer Candelario steps in here with a man on.
Yeah, it was pretty nice of Oakland and St. Louis to get together to make that trade. He was playing for the Cardinals, and they got together to make the trade so that he could be back in the Bay Area and be close to his mother when she was ailing with ALS. That was pretty nice in and of itself.
Mike Matheny, the manager in St. Louis, had, let them know that, hey, look, I mean, it's weighing on him, man. It's really hurting him. And so Mozeliak and the Cardinals figured out a way for a win-win, I guess, for both teams, and got him back to very close to Pleasant. Pleasant's like maybe 20 miles away, 20 minutes away from Oakland. So he was able to go home every day. Well, that had to be tough yesterday for him, with a heavy heart out there. Getting back to work as a pitch on the way to Candelario off the plate.
Yeah, so far in this game, Bartolo really hasn't found the command that we've seen him have in many of his starts. Right now he's already thrown 47 pitches, generally averaging around 13 pitches an inning. 49 pitches would get him much further in the game. Less than 40 pitches would generally get him through 3 innings. But he's thrown 29 strikes, 18 balls. That's not the ratio that you normally see from him.
One to Candelario. He's outside again. He grounded out in the 1st inning. Candelario 0 for 1. 3 hits in the series. Good young 3rd baseman. Just 24 years old. It's 3-1.
He's got the movement. That last ball might have had too much movement. Went right through the strike zone and out of the strike zone. He just hasn't been able to utilize the movement and hit the spot that he's trying to hit. The left-handed slider just had too much movement. We're out of the strike zone.
Full count. Well, it doesn't look too rattled by any of it. Never does. (3-2) runner goes. That one lined out to right field. So around second and heading to third, Jones. He'll come to the plate. Throw goes back in toward the infield and won't get there nearly in time. Candelario with the RBI double makes it 2-0 Detroit. 2-1 rather.
Well, we kind of featured Jeimer Candelario in the open when we talked about the left side of their infield and what a nice series he's had. Had a home run and a double last night. Another double today coming into the game. He was tied for 7th with 19 extra base hits in the American League. That's his 20th. And over his last 22 games, he's hitting over 340. So he's starting to come into his own as a really nice, bright young player.
So Mikey Matuk, he had a triple in the first inning. Matuk and Cosmo, who homered earlier, both called up in these last 2 days. Matuk today, Cosmo yesterday. And that one fouled back. And it's 1-1. Had a big year last year with the Tigers. Played 109 games. 96 hits, scored 50 runs. Had 6 triples last year. He was in the top 10 in the league. 1-2 the count.
Again, 54 pitches right now for Bartolo. Generally, he'd be almost out of the 4th inning by now with that many pitches.
Checks his runner. Matuk fouls off another one. You know, it's harder to keep track of those things up here, but in terms of, you know, little spoil foul balls, this has got to be the most we've seen off Bartolo all year, where they have fought off a number of close pitches.
Instead of putting him in play for outs, they're fouling him off.
Right back to the mound. Colon, as if he does it all the time, and he kind of does, takes care of it and retires Matuk one away.
Well, you could tell listening to him in the interview that he did last week that he takes a lot of pride. Watch where he is when he lets go of the ball. He's in perfect position, kneeling, not kneeling, bending down, squared away to the hitter, in perfect position to field the ball. Knees bent, just like you'd see a middle infielder on a ground ball. Doesn't fall off the mound. That allows him to make the plays he makes. Those line shots hit right back at him. That was a hard ground ball. If he falls off the mound toward first base, it probably goes right up the middle. So he helps himself out, and has his whole career, by being able to field his position.
So Hicks now, and he'll take one off the outside. 2 runs in this inning. Tigers have taken their first lead of the day. And they have made Bartolo work. One and one. We mentioned earlier Bartolo coming off a win the other day. That was at Toronto. He got the victory. And then he did lose that game to Boston. 7 innings each of his last 2 starts. But that win at Toronto, that made him a winner with 11 different major league teams. Put him in a small class of individuals who have managed that feat. 20th pitch of the inning. Fouled off again. LaTroy Hawkins, Mike Morgan, and Ron Vallone. The other 3 who have done that. You know, we had the perfect game earlier this year at Houston. It was not quite a month ago. 44 years old and just as effective as ever. The 1-2. And that strike 3 called his second strikeout of the afternoon.
Very similar to the other strikeout. The other strikeout was James McCann in the 2nd inning. Pitches that just barely touched the outside corner. The one to McCann was a few inches higher than that. Same general location.
Now he buries one to Nico Goodrum. Goodrum grounded out in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. Well, the challenge for Bartolo today will be to see how deep he can get into this game with a high pitch count here early on. And certainly you do not want to write off the notion that he could go deep into this one. When you look at the Rangers start so far this year, and this is the 39th game of the season. We've seen 4 starts go 7+ innings this year. Bartolo has 3 of those 4 starts. So he is the guy who more times than not is the one you can count on to carry you deep. His back is up against the wall though in this one, just in terms of pitches thrown. The 1-2 to Goodrum. That's a little tight. Goodrum, 26 years old, came up last year with the Minnesota Twins. Played in 11 games last year, and he swings and misses here. A strikeout victim. That is the final out of the inning. So Tigers get 2 runs in the inning and have taken their first lead of the day. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Third inning coming. Rangers will send the top of the order here to Shields, Kiner Falefa, and Mazzara. Well, Bartolo Colon has probably not had his best command today and has had to work in his first 3 innings. Liriano was all over the map in the first inning. Settled down a little bit in the second, but is outside here. It's 2-0 to Delano to Shields.
Yeah, the double play to get out of the second really helped him. He's thrown 42 pitches and actually thrown more balls than strikes. 22 balls and 20 strikes.
I'm starting to get the feeling that the bullpens are going to be a pretty big factor in this one today.
Yeah, you know, coming into the game, you look at the 2 pitchers, and Liriano's coming off a sub 100 pitch 7-inning game. Nice start, off to a great start this year. Colone's averaging 13 pitches per inning, and already Bartolo's thrown well over 60 pitches in 3 innings, and Liriano's thrown more balls than strikes. So both of the veterans are really struggling with their command today, and that's the second time he's walked Delano to Shields.
Well, last time that did not work out well for Liriano. A wild pitch, and later on a Beltre base hit scored the only Rangers run. Delano is on. Good beginning here to the 3rd inning. The Rangers have had the lead man on in all 3 innings so far. And it brings up Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Now, for all the talk of Bartolo's veteran status, 44 years old, in the many years he has pitched, Liriano has been around the block a few times himself. We'll check in again with Delano. There aren't many guys who have pitched long enough and then well enough, and I suppose you could even then say poorly enough, to be the comeback player of the year twice. Once in each league. The only player to have ever done it multiple times, but he did it with the Twins in 2010, and then several years later, 2013, in a bounce back year with the Pirates, won it again. Comeback player of the year.
You know, it's not ideal, but if you were beginning your big league career and someone said, would you take a big league career that included comeback player of the year? I'd say yes.
Sure.
Because it means you had to play well enough at the beginning of your career at some point in time to have a bad year and then play well again.
Yeah.
So you had a bad year for sure to have to come back from something, but before it and after it you must have played very well. So I would definitely take that at the beginning of a career if someone told me that.
For sure, right? Because there are guys who have had bad years, then had worse years, and then had a bad year
just
again.
keep waiting for that. You can't have a comeback year if you never had a good year.
Exactly. That doesn't work. Well,
this is a major struggle right here for Liriano, and it's not what Ron Gardenhire was looking forward to today. 26 balls, 21 strikes, 47 pitches. The strength of their team has been their starting rotation. They've got a few guys who've been around in their starting rotation. Jordan Zimmerman, Michael Fulmer, got some pretty good names in their rotation. Matt Boyd is pitching pretty well. Daniel Norris is hurt, but he's a pretty good left-hander. Bullpen is not a strength. So if you're Ron Gardner coming into this game, you're hoping that you can get 6 or 7 innings from Liriano to limit the exposure to the bullpen, but that's not going to happen today, it doesn't appear. Although he got that quick double play to get out of the second, he's always one pitch away from that happening.
Delano running, and a pitch a little low. The throw to second, not even close. So does Shields with his 7th stolen base of the year, and removes that possibility of a ground ball double play.
We saw him the first time on bluff toward second, and then continued to second when the ball was in the dirt. So he had a pretty good idea of the move to the plate that Liriano has, and the second time he got on base, no hesitation, just took off the first chance he got.
With a walking lead off second, and the pitch to Kiner-Falefa, and there for a strike. It's a full count.
Well, that's not a bad idea. Trying to get a rally going with nobody out, throwing more balls than strikes. The count's 3-0. See if he can throw 3 straight strikes.
4th full count already today for Liriano. So now
back threw a slider for a strike.
Maybe the Rangers can do a little bit of the same thing to Liriano in terms of fouling off close pitches. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat to Kiner-Falefa. Shoots this one down the first base line. Fair ball and into the corner. The Shields will score easily. Kiner Falefa heading for third, and he'll be in there easily, and he might think about more. He'll stop. It's a tie game, 2-2 on the triple by Kiner Falefa.
Well, that was a good at bat in a lot of different ways. The count was 3-0. He took 2 strikes. Not often in big league baseball you'll see a guy take a strike on a 3-1 pitch, but he did. Fouled off a slider. And then the next one he lined down the right field line where Goodwin had a little bit of a problem getting it out of the corner. Played the carom, but there never was a carom. The ball just goes into the corner and stays right there. It gets caught underneath the padding. That allowed Isaiah to go all the way to third base.
So they'll play the infield in again. Mazzara shoots this one down to third. Good stop down there by Candelario. One away.
Designated hitter, Adrian Beltre.
Now Adrian Beltre.
Well, if they pitched Adrian Beltre, they deserve the line drive that they're going to get.
Adrian, RBI single in the first inning. After 3 hits yesterday, and Liriano crowds him with that one. Beltre has hit Liriano well over the years. And he hits this ball out to the gap left center field, but it's hanging up for Jones. He'll get there. It'll be a sac fly though. Kiner Falefa tags and scores, and the Rangers back in front. It's 3-2.
Well, in Adrian's last 4 at bats, he's driven in a run. 3 for 4 last night. Already had a hit in this game. Had a man on third base, 1 out, and the infield in. Why you pitched Adrian right there is beyond me, but I'm glad they did.
So 12 RBIs now for Adrian. Bases are empty. Here's Joey Gallo. And he'll take a strike. So the 2 left-handed hitters in the lineup today, Mazzara and Gallo, against Liriano. And Liriano, as we mentioned at the top, very tough on lefties, at least so far this year. He struck out Gallo in the first. One.
Yeah, Liriano seems to be saving his best sliders for Joey Gallo.
Now, based on the swings we've seen on those sliders so far, you would expect to see more. But a fastball swung on and missed, and Gallo strikes out for the second time this afternoon. Rangers pick up 2 runs though, and they're back in front 3-2. slogging through this one so far. Bartolo will face James McCann, Grayson Greiner, and Jose Iglesias here in the fourth. And he pumps the first one in there for a strike.
Well, he struck out Goodrum to end the third inning with a slider, and he started out McCann with a slider.
And that one on the corner. 0-2.
A little extra on that fastball at 89 miles an hour.
He has 3 strikeouts so far today. One of them against McCann. He got McCann looking in the second. Today the DH. McCann has played in every game in this series. And they're thin right now. I mean, they've got some guys a little banged up.
Ooh. Mixing him up a little bit more to start the fourth inning. He's already thrown a slider and a changeup in this inning. Tried to catch the outside corner, didn't miss it by much.
It's 2-2. That one a little wide, so full count. Well, now 70 pitches in. Now, that's the first time that Bartolo has worked with Carlos Perez, and he was scheduled to work with Robinson Chirinos today, but Chirinos scratched about an hour and a half or so before the ball game today in favor of Perez. Chirinos just trying to give him a little extra time with that left wrist that has been bugging him at times.
You can't have the long at bat as last time up. Fouled off a lot of pitches, and here we go again.
Getting ready for pitch number 8 of this at bat. That was, I think, a 10-pitch at bat in the second. 3-2. Fly ball out to right center, and to Shields takes care of it. 1 away. Well, the next Texas Chili Company Dollar Hot Dog Night will be Wednesday, May 23rd. Rangers and Yankees in that series. So come on out to Globe Life Park. Enjoy those ballpark hot dogs for just $1 each. TexasRangers.com for tickets, or 972 Rangers. Gotta believe a lot of hot dogs being consumed this afternoon out here on Dollar Hot Dog Day as Greiner takes a slider for a strike. 0-2.
It seems like coming into the fourth inning, the game plan has been maybe mix in other pitches than the two-seam fastball a little bit more often.
Strike 3 call. Wow. Greiner carved up right there. 4th strikeout of the afternoon for Cologne.
The 3 of them have been in this same spot with the two-seam fastball. Ball's tailing back toward the top of the strike zone, just catching the outside corner. The other one to Goodrum was an off-speed pitch, either a changeup or a slider. But in that bat to Greiner, he also threw him an off-speed pitch, which gave him something else to think about.
Now Iglesias. Oh for 5 in his career against Cologne. Grounded out in the second inning. He takes one just a smidge high, apparently. The high strike not really working today with Angel Hernandez back there behind the plate. And this one lifted out to left field. Rua angling back, and he'll make the play. The inning is done, and it's a 1-2-3, top of the 4th for Bartolo Colon. Rangers lead by 1. after basically being booed for the first 6 weeks of the season at Yankee Stadium. And that win last night for the Yankees over Boston, now a tie atop the American League East standings, as Profar starts the 4th inning by taking one right off the backside.
The Rangers have had the leadoff hitter on every inning. Twice it's been Delano to Shields with a walk, and twice Delano has scored.
Well, this time Profar, the man who gets on first. Renato Nunez steps in. And Nunez sends this one in the air to the right side and out of play. Well, there's a lot of dust flying around in the air today. From where we sit looking out, you can even see it, a slight little haze here. The wind has been whipping around all day. I suppose that's fitting on weather day today. The youngsters out here. 0-2 the count on Nunez, who had a little tapper right out in front of the plate in the 2nd inning, and he ended up getting a base hit out of it. Nunez hitting 152 coming into play today. That one came in and got him. Back-to-back hit batters.
Boy, a major struggle for Liriano right now. Right in the back foot. He's finally got the amount of strikes ahead of the amount of balls, 32-31. But 2 of the balls that he's thrown in this inning have already put men on base by a hit batter.
He's plunked 2, he has walked 3 so far. The Rangers trying to build something in this 4th inning. Ryan Rua, and he takes low for ball 1. Rua popped up down the right field line in the 2nd inning, and a real nice play made by Goodrum, racing in to get it. 1-1 the count on Rua. Well, Ryan started the year as the opening day and everyday left fielder. After close to 20 games, was removed from the everyday job. Of course, there were so many injuries that were forcing the Rangers to shuffle things around. This one lined out to center field, and what a catch out there. Heading back quickly to second, Profar, and he won't get back in time. Double play, and that takes a little wind out of the sails. Well, Jacoby Jones, nice play to snare that line drive out to center.
It definitely looked like a base hit off the bat, but Ryan hit this ball so hard that it just kept on going and allowed the center fielder Jacoby Jones to make a sliding play, and then he came up with a nice throw. You can see Tony Beasley saying, "Get back," but by the time he put the brakes on, it was too late. The throw came back. Cosmo was able to keep his foot on the base and got the double play. So for the 2nd time today, right when it looked like Liriano was really struggling, he's come up with a double play to help his cause.
So an 8-4 double play. Nunez is at first, and a 1-0 to Carlos Perez high. 2-0. The Rangers working with the 1-run lead, but to your point, Tom, a couple big plays in this thing have maybe limited what was otherwise looking like a lot of damage for Liriano. 3-0.
Yeah, it feels like he's thrown 169 pitches, not 69 pitches.
I'm sort of tired for him. Generous strike call. 6th 3-ball count today for Liriano.
A double play got him out of the second inning with only 9 pitches.
Perez went around and it's a full count. Rangers got a run in the first. They got 2 runs in the third. So far today, 3 runs on just 3 hits. They've taken advantage of walks, 3 of those, a couple of hit batters. Wild pitch mixed in there. 3-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. Wow, Liriano, bit of a magician today. How he escaped this one, we have to revisit it. We go to the 5th inning. 3-2.
Particular one. In fact, we're going to call it Gum Gate. It's something he does before the games and also in between innings, where he flattens out a couple of pieces of gum, guys. Then he takes out the gum he was already chewing, puts it in the middle of 2 pieces of gum, and makes a sandwich with it. I guess that's what we can call it, a gum sandwich. And then he sticks it in his glove. I'm not sure what the purpose is. I guess he's saving it for later, but an unusual routine for Cologne when he pitches.
Gotta have that fresh gum each inning you go out there.
A fresh piece of gum every inning.
And you don't have to go through all the work of, starting the chewing when you're going out the door. You want to be, boom, midstream.
I wonder what he does on the days he's not pitching.
Probably chews gum.
But do you think he does that same routine every inning?
He might, guys are certainly creatures of habit. Did you have any superstitions when you were playing?
Not really. Not really.
I don't even know if you'd call that a superstition per se for him, right? Just a nice little routine, I guess.
A lot of times if you happen to do something well one day, you might have the same thing to eat the next day or try to do the same routine. A lot of guys are superstitious about stepping on the foul line when they come off the field.
Were you mindful of?
No, I never thought of that.
Bouncer left side of the infield. Nunez with a spin and his throw goes high. Gallo, big as he is, couldn't bring that one down, and Cosma reaches on the error. In fact, we'll go to second base.
Nice pickup. Does the 360 and throws at the same time. Almost like the other throw. He had time. The throw was just off the mark a little bit.
So Cosma out there in scoring position. Well, he's had a pretty big impact on this game already. The home run in the 3rd inning. Now occupying some of Cologne's attention is the top of the order, Jacoby Jones. Takes ball one. Jones with a base hit in 2 tries. Corners in a little. Bouncer, this one through the left side. So Kozma into third base, and Clark will stop him there. Jones with his 2nd hit of the game, and another good start to an inning for the Tigers.
Yep, found a hole with that ground ball. Candelario's been a tough out for the Rangers in this series. He already has a double and an RBI in this game. So he's in a good hitting position. 1st and 3rd, nobody out.
Well, 2, 3, and 4 hitters. And Cologne rushes that one a little bit in. You know, this team, again, people had some interesting expectations for Detroit coming in, but look at this. In the month of May, they've really hit the ball pretty well. Only the Angels and Royals have gone for a higher average. A couple of big bats out of the order today for Detroit. Miguel Cabrera on the disabled list. Victor Martinez felt like he needed a day off today. And boy, you look what Gardenhire penciled in his lineup today, and you can sense just how thin things are right now. But and yet you look at the numbers, you wouldn't turn your nose up at a 287 team average in the month. And they're battling here with Cologne. 2-1 now, the count on Candelario. It hasn't been real easy today for Bartolo. Guy averaging about 13 pitches per inning this year.
He had double of that in the 2nd and the 3rd.
He's concerned that Jones wants to run on him. Jones with 4 steals this year and 4 tries. The Rangers might be willing to concede that tying run if they could get a double play here. 2-1 pitch, and there's a strike. So 90 pitches in now for Cologne. You know, when he's really got it working, he also gets into a pretty good rhythm. He just kind of rocks back and forth, gets it and goes. Today that has just not been the case. You can tell he's been fighting it. Inside in a full count. This is what you don't see a lot from Bartolo. Walk back near the rubber, rubbing up the baseball, taking the time to get set. At least we haven't seen a lot of it this year. Runner goes, pitch is inside. That's ball 4. So they are loaded with nobody out here in the 5th inning.
Only the 4th walk this year for Bartolo.
Well, that gets Brocale on the phone with the bullpen. Now Bartolo, the 3 walks coming in, is the stingiest in the American League and walks per 9 innings. It's an unusual sight to see a free pass offered here. Just saw Liriano get out of a unusual jam, and Cologne's going to want to try and repeat that. He falls behind Matuk 1-0.
Candelario leads the Tigers now with 16 walks. Got a nice on base percentage, right around 370.
corner call, 1-1. Ma took triple and a comebacker today, 1 for 2. Bartolo, highest pitch count so far this year. 98. So he's getting very close to a threshold for him. 2-1 pitch. High fly ball right field. Mazzara goes back and he'll make the play. Cosme able to tag, he'll score. Moving from second to third base is Jones, but 1 away. And this game tied at 3.
First baseman John Hicks.
Want to get John Hicks to the plate. Hicks is 0 for 2. He is flat out to right, struck out looking. Well, based on what we have seen this year, at least in terms of pitch counts and innings for Cologne, you'd have to suspect pretty strongly that this would be his final inning if he can get out of it. Hicks grounds one third base. Nunez to second for 1. Kiner Falefa in time.
Who need that?
Big double play for Bartolo Colon. They go around the horn, 5-4 to 3. Bases loaded, nobody out. Beautiful sky today. Lots of sunshine. Temperatures in the 80s, and Liriano out to see if he can find his way through a 5th inning. We'll deal with the top of the Rangers order again here in the 5th. Patterns have been pretty similar. The Shields has led off every odd numbered inning now. And he's ahead 2-0. Liriano walked him in the 1st. And Delano would come around to score. He walked him in the 3rd. And Delano came around to score in that inning as well. 2-0.
And a little change up there, something off speed on the 2-0 pitch. I know, pretty sure he was going to get a fastball, but Liriano outboxed him.
Delano bunts it, but foul. Liriano initially signed by the San Francisco Giants. It was back in 2000. He's been well traveled. Full count now on to Shields. He's pitched in the big leagues for the Minnesota Twins. That's the team he came up with in '05. Pitched with them through 2012. He and Ron Gardenhire very familiar with one another. His new manager, and he walks to Shields again.
That's pretty amazing. Delano in 5 innings has led off an inning 3 times and walked all 3 times. Scored twice and a chance to score again right here. That's what you want from your leadoff man. Get on, score runs.
Well, leadoff man in every inning has been on this afternoon. Delano's been aggressive out there on the bases, but holds off this time. 1-0 to Kiner Falefa. Liriano, though, after those good years with the Twins, ended up with the White Sox briefly. Handful of years with the Pirates. Season and a half with Toronto, and last year pitched 20 games in relief after being traded at the deadline with the Houston Astros. He's a dynamic left-hander. Good major league career for him. And a guy who I think compels people, because you talked about the changeup today, Tom. It's a really good pitch, but you're also talking about a guy who can harness it at times and give you that really big-time start. In fact, has a no-hitter to his credit. Did that with the Twins in 2011. This one shot through the right side. That's a base hit for Kiner Falefa, but the Shields will stop at second base.
The last inning, the Rangers had the first 2 men on base. Both of them, Profar and Nunez, were hit by pitches. And Ryan Rua hit a line shot to center field, turned into a double play. Looked like a changeup that Kiner Falefa hit right off the end of the bat. But with the first baseman holding the runner, there's a big hole between first and second, and he found it.
Well, here comes Ron Gardenhire. So the manager, when he goes out there, that's usually to get the baseball. That's what he does. Liriano is done. 4+ innings today. He'll be responsible for both base runners and another lefty, Hardy, coming on out of the pen for the Tigers. fifth inning, and the Tigers flinch first as Blaine Hardy, the left-hander, out of the pen.
Yeah, this is only the third game for Blaine Hardy, and he's coming into the ball game early in the game in tough situation. First and second, nobody out. And he's facing the middle of the order. Nomar Mazara batting third today.
So Liriano done, and you had been monitoring, Tom, his ball and strike breakdown.
Did he even it off yet?
He finished with 41 strikes and 40 balls. That is pretty close.
More strikes than balls.
So Hardy puts one right in there for a strike to Mazara. Ron Gardner brings in a left-hander to face the left-handed hitting Nomar. But it's been a point we've discussed a lot. His numbers against lefties have really improved this year. And a bouncer up the middle. That'll be handled by Cosmo. Quick flip to second one, and the relay in time for the double play. DeShields gets to third, but Mazara bounces into the 4-6-3 double play. So it brings up Adrian Beltre, our TXU Energy power player to watch. 3-hit games. He had one yesterday. That was number 224 in his career. Second among all active players. Albert Pujols has 5 more than he does, and he's not going to get a chance to hit here. So you were talking about it in the third inning. Wonder why they didn't just walk him. They let him hit, and he drove it a run with a sac fly. This time they do walk him, but with 2 outs.
Yeah, the last 4 at-bats coming into this at-bat right now, the intentional walk. He driven in a run with 3 singles and a sac fly with every at-bat. The only out he's made in this series since he came back was he made an out the first time up yesterday. Been on base 5 straight times along with the sacrifice fly. I guess technically he made an out. Doesn't go down as an at-bat though.
By putting Beltre on, it allows Hardy to throw to another left-handed hitter. Gallo takes ball 2. Brought in Hardy to face Mazara, got him to bounce into the twin killing, and now goes 3-0 on Gallo. Jurickson Profar waits on deck. Hardy's 3-0 pitch, and that one right in there for a strike. Well, Gallo will be looking for something he can drive right here. Hardy just recently called up. Doesn't have a lot of big league data this year to really draw upon. Is 3-1. There's a swing and a miss. He's not yet given up a hit to a left-hander yet.
We were talking about Liriano throwing a lot of sliders to lefty. It looks like Hardy likes to do the same thing. 3-0 pitch was a slider.
And that one is down. Ball 4, so they are loaded. Three walks in the inning. It brings up Jurickson Profar. He had a great swing last night. Talk about his offense coming around lately. This is Profar in the 5th inning. No doubter.
Got a high changeup. Waited on it and hit it. Boy, in an inning where you've had 3 walks and a single, you'd like to get a run. Double plays have really helped the Tigers today. They had one to end the 2nd, had one after 2 men were on and no out in the 4th, and the same thing in the 5th. 2 on, nobody out, double play.
Profar's put up good numbers in his career with the bases loaded. Big spot right here. Chance for Jurickson and the Rangers to really jump out in front here. 1-1 the count. They led 1-0. Fell behind by a run, 2-1. Came back to take the lead 3-2, only to watch the Tigers tie it again. 1-1 is pop foul back out of play. Goes back to a point you were making earlier. Profar's adjustments against left-handed pitching. We talked about the overall numbers this year, but lately even better. 10 for his last 21. 3 doubles, 2 triples, a homer. That was prior to today. Popped up earlier against Liriano, so I guess you can make it 10 for 22. Well, the Rangers have had just 2 hits this year with the bases loaded. 2 for 20. Shields at third. Beltre at second. Gallo at first. All there via the walk.
That's eyeballing it. You got down and watched that ball, so it'd be about eye high when it went by the home plate. I don't think he can watch one any better than that. Weren't in a real good spot to swing at it though if you had to.
No, and that was very close. So another chance here, 2-2, and that one sails on Hardy. It's a full count. Well, in an inning with 3 walks, no one's going to turn down a 4th here. Hardy on in relief this inning, and his payoff pitch popped up right field. Goodrum waits, and the inning is done. The Rangers leave them loaded in the bottom of the 5th inning. We go to the 6th, still tied at 3. That is an awful feel. That is just got
out of order. Maybe a T-ball game, but not a big league game.
Jesse Chavez on to pitch here in the 6th inning for the Rangers. So Bartolo Colon done after 5. And this game will be decided by the bullpens. 3-3 ball game. Jesse misses low. 1-1 the count to Nico Goodrum. Bartolo threw 98 pitches today in his 5 innings, allowed 3 runs on 6 hits, but only 2 of the runs were earned. This ball turned to the right side and down into the corner. That'll be extra bases for Goodrum, and he will stop at second base. He had a head of steam going, but he'll settle for the leadoff double. Well, this appearance this afternoon by Chavez, he'll have appeared now in 5 of the last 10 Rangers games. Getting some pretty regular work all of a sudden. As James McCann up there at the moment. McCann 0 for 2. Two and 0 the count. Well, Chavez, he has been around for a while, pitching with the Rangers this year, back with the organization that originally drafted him. And one of the real good guys in the game. 2-1 the count. He has filled a lot of different roles over the years for handful of different teams, and he's done it all without complaining, out saying a word. A guy who, like so many, has always just wanted to start, and he has at times, more times than not, been stuck in that swingman role where you're asked to eat a lot of innings in the middle of games. 2-2 the count.
McCann has fouled a lot of balls off today.
You know, that's a good point. He was a pest for Bartolo. Like, what's 18 pitches, I think, of those 2 at bats.
Both at bats had a lot of pitches, a lot of foul balls. Another one right there.
Two. And that one fouled off again. So 10 in the first at bat. 8 in that relatively quick at bat in the 4th. This will be the 6th pitch of this one. Infield is back. And a bouncer up the middle. That one is through. Around third base. Goodrum, he'll score easily. McCann drives home the go-ahead run, and Detroit leads it 4-3.
Yeah, McCann's on a pretty good streak. I think he's got an 8-game hitting streak. He's hitting well over 300 in the last 20 games. But Dave, you were talking about the Tigers with a nice batting average in the month of May, and we're seeing several of those hitters who are hot. Jamer Candelario hitting over 340 over the last 3 weeks. Iglesias hitting about 290 over the last 3 weeks. McCann over the same period of time hitting over 320, 325. A number of Tigers for a fairly extended period of time have been swinging the bats pretty well. You wouldn't know it by last night. They don't hit a lot of home runs, but they're getting their base hits right now.
Yeah, last night was just a bizarre one. They came out swinging big. Victor Martinez had the 2-run homer in the first inning. Jose Iglesias followed with a home run in the second.
Yeah, first time through the lineup, they hit 3 home runs.
Which has just not been their style so far this year. I'm trying to forget Candelario's home run. It's a rebuild situation in Detroit. No one's running from that either. I mean, they've been pretty public about it, and it'd be hard to hide with the moves made last year. They started trading away some of the more iconic names in the organization. We saw Verlander go at the trade deadline to Houston. Left-hand reliever Justin Wilson went to Chicago. JD Martinez was traded off to Arizona. Justin Upton, after the trade deadline, eventually traded to the Angels. And then in the offseason, Ian Kinsler traded to the Angels as well. That's a pretty good. You take those guys right there, you would think to yourself, hey, I could build a pretty good team around those dudes.
Yeah, they had a veteran team with some talent, but based on the way the last couple of years have gone, they didn't figure they were going to contend, so scale back a little bit.
I guess maybe the one trade that I don't know if it doesn't get talked about as much, maybe it just doesn't feel like as big a deal, but Al Avila, their general manager, traded his son as a part of that Justin Wilson deal. This one out towards center field. DeShields runs it down. One away. That was the first time in like 50 years that a GM had traded his own son. Alex said he was fine with it. Apparently, Mom was a little upset, though.
I think it would be a tough situation for a son to play on the same team as his father when his father's the general manager. It just, maybe it doesn't work that way. It just seems to me it would make for some uneasy relationships in the clubhouse. You know, a lot of things go on in the course of a 162 game, 6-month schedule in the clubhouse, on the field, off the field, that you might not necessarily want the general manager to know about. And if his son's right there with you, I guess you have to have a lot of trust.
I mean, it puts some pressure on you too, right? As on both parties, really, but as a kid,
yeah,
boy, every time you have an offer, you feel everybody's eyes on you in that clubhouse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then might put a little pressure on the manager. Do I bench the general manager's son? Although I bet you if you talked to both of them, they would tell you no, that those were never issues, aren't issues, didn't have anything to do with it.
Did you ever get close to a situation like that with your boys?
I don't think so. The only time it would have been close would have been in the draft. One of my sons was picked before we picked in the draft, but if he wasn't and it was our turn to pick, then I think Sandy Johnson was going to consider him. And from my standpoint, you know, I wasn't going to put my 2 cents worth in, because that was Sandy's job to do the draft, pick the players. And if he was the best one and he wanted to pick him, then we'd try to make it work. But when it didn't work that way, I was relieved, because I didn't really look forward to that.
It seems like the job's tough enough as is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough enough for an 18-year-old player, too.
Kozma lofts this one out there to left center, drops in for a base hit. McCann headed to third. Here comes the throw, and it gets away. Backed up nicely, though, by Chavez. Nobody able to take any more from it. And Pete Kozma once again kind of a pest in this one. A home run, a 2-base error, and now the base hit there. He does move up on the throw.
Hits it off the end of the bat. It hung up there a little bit in left center field. Delino was shading over toward right center field, so there's a little bit of a gap out there, and that ball just landed about halfway between Ryan Rua and Delino DeShields in the outfield. Ryan tried to make the play at third, safe at third, and the hitter went to second on the throw.
So that will do it for Chavez. Jose Leclerc coming on. GMC dealer today. Well, top of the 6th inning. A little bit of traffic out there with 2 out. And Jose Leclerc is coming on. Leclerc picked up the win in the opening game of this series Monday night. 11th outing for Jose. Jacoby Jones, the hitter, and he swings and misses at strike 1. Couple of hits for Jones today, has scored a run. Keeps it close enough, nobody moving up. Well, Leclerc started the year at 9 scoreless innings. He was really good, but has allowed 4 runs, 3 of them earned in his last 3 games. That's a span of 3 innings pitched. One of the ways, though, that he has been very effective this year is inheriting runners and stranding them. He's allowed only 1 to score this year. He falls behind here 2-1 to Jones. He's inherited 10 runners prior to today, so you can make it 12 now. And these 2 in scoring position, McCann 3rd and Cosma at 2nd.
Yeah, this is obviously a big spot in the game. 2 outs, 2nd and 3rd. You don't want to hit to fall in right here. It's already a 4-3 ball game. Keep it that way. Middle of the game, it's not that big a deal, but definitely like to see a good at bat right here by Jose to get out of this inning right now.
A 3-1 the count, so he's got to come up with something pretty good right here. And he does. Gets a strike call. Full count on Jones. Candelario waiting in the on deck circle. Payoff, and they are loaded up. So a walk to the first man he faces, and that's a lot of times with Leclerc, that's usually an indication that things might not be quite right.
Yeah, and Jacoby Jones has had a good game. He scored a run, had a couple of hits, but right now the most dangerous guy in the lineup today for sure, without the veterans in the lineup, is Jeimer Candelario. And that's who he has to face right now with the bases loaded. He's had a double, an RBI, and a walk so far in this game. Home run and a double last night.
Well, he misses with ball 1. So the Rangers just had a bases loaded spot a moment ago. Profar flat out to right field to end the threat, and now the Tigers right back with one of their own. They are 5 for 29 this year with the bases loaded. Candelario a couple of hits yesterday. It's been busy today, and it's 1-1. One from Leclerc. Look good in there for a strike.
That's a tough one to hit at 96 miles an hour. Throw another one right there. Can't go wrong.
Well, this would be a lift if he could take care of Candelario. The 1-2. He stays alive. So top of the 6th inning. Detroit has scored a run in the inning to retake the lead once again. Back and forth we go. Leclerc charged with keeping it close here. There's 1-2 on the way, and he got him swinging. Candelario strikes out, and the bases left loaded. Jose Leclerc needed in a big spot, and the right-hander comes through in a big way. It's a 4-3 game. Well, a one-run game. Tigers with the lead as we get going here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bottom third of the order due for the Rangers. Renato Nunez had a couple of good at-bats so far today. He's been on both times. And Blaine Hardy gets him to pop this one foul, but out of play. Nunez with the start at third. Adrian Beltre DHing today. Beltre came back yesterday off the disabled list. Nunez ended spring training hurt. Started the year on the disabled list with the Oakland A's, but then when he came off, Rangers claimed him off waivers. Provides a little right-handed power. Well, these are the spots where you think he might give you a little advantage off the left-hander Blaine Hardy, but he swings and misses strike 3. One away here in the 6th inning. Well, this Memorial Day weekend, join the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation in remembering those who have lost their lives in service to our country. American flags will be displayed on the North Lawn over Memorial Day weekend to honor our heroes. And if you'd like to make a donation to honor loved ones with a commemorative flag, just go to texasrangers.com/heroes. All proceeds will benefit the Texas Rangers Baseball Foundation's nonprofit military partners. One out. Here is Ryan Rua. He is 0 for 2 twice. Retired on balls in the air. Once to right, once to center. 1-1 the count. Takes a strike. It's 1-2. Blaine Hardy came in last inning and got the Tigers out of quite of a messy spot, rather. He got Mazzara to bounce into a double play. That was huge.
Double plays really have been the name of the game today for the Tigers. They had 3 of them, twice with 2 men on and nobody out.
Back again. Of course, the crazy thing is, after he got that double play, he intentionally walked Adrian Beltre, but then accidentally walked Joey Gallo and loaded him up.
And went to 3-2 on Profar.
Yeah, still got out of the inning. And a miss, and Rua strikes out for the second out here in the 6th. Well, you can watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.tv. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, which allows you to watch baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Just go to MLB.tv for details. Well, Carlos Perez, first pitch swinging, and sends this one out to Goodrum in right. Inning is over. 1-2-3, bottom of the 6th. Just 11 pitches needed for Hardy. Tigers lead by 1.
Well, big question lately, when will Rougned Odor return to the lineup? Well, he has his 3rd game of his rehab stint last night in Round Rock, had 4 at-bats, got 1 hit, but Jeff Bannister said he's swinging the ball well. He actually has another start tonight in Round Rock. He'll start at second base, and then they'll see how he's doing. He had typical soreness after last night's game. Depending on that, with an off day Thursday, Bannister said the earliest we could see him would be in Houston this weekend, guys.
Take that. Be great. We're starting to see guys coming back and a little return to health for this team. Delino recently returned from his broken hand. We just got Beltre back yesterday. Wonderful to get Odor back sometime on this next road trip. It's Mikey Mato goes after strike 1. Well, a lot of guys getting in the act today for the Detroit Tigers. Only Hicks and Iglesias hitless so far. Only 1 the count on Matuk. Matuk has done a really nice job. A triple in the 1st, a sac fly in the 5th.
Yeah, a lot of these guys with the Tigers that were in AAA and have been called up recently really weren't lighting it up in AAA either. Matuk was only hitting .250 in 22 games at AAA. Cosma in 85 at bats was only hitting .200.
Clerk runs it in a little tight. 3-1 the count. Well, Jose got out of trouble in the 6th inning. Walked Jacoby Jones, which he did not want to do, and then came back and struck out Candelario to get out of the inning. But in danger of giving up another free base here. This one fouled away. It's a full count. We spend a great deal of time talking about the young players that the Rangers have been running out there, done a great job filling in while the veterans have been injured. And Mata strikes out here to start the 7th inning.
Nice off-speed pitch from Leclerc. Had Montauk way out in front of it, 81 miles an hour. Quite a difference between the changeup speed and his fastball speed. Tough for the hitters to contend with. That's why he's only given up 4 hits so far this year.
Hicks swings and misses at strike 1. I say this is one of the young guys though on the pitching staff. You don't always have as much an opportunity to celebrate, but 24 years old and already with some experience under his belt. Leclerc has some pretty good stuff. You could see him being a long-term contributor out of that bullpen. 0-2 the count now.
Yep, for sure. 95 with the fastball, 79 with a changeup.
Of course, 2 versions of a changeup.
Yeah, I have a hard time calling that thing a changeup. You know,
it's
he
tricky.
calls it a changeup, but when it spins like that and breaks like that, it's hard not to call it a slider.
1-2 the count. And a swing and a miss. So Hicks strikes out. That's 3 straight strikeouts for Leclerc.
Yeah, it's his stuff when he's locating it. His stuff is very tough to contend with. Yeah, I almost really don't care what he calls that.
Right.
I'm calling that a slider.
Yeah, because here's the thing, right, about a quote-unquote changeup. The idea is it's going to be something different from the fastball speed. And most changeups have good movement on them as well, but so does a curveball, so does a slider. They're different speeds than your fastball, and they have movement on them. So I mean, in that way, you could call everything a fastball or a changeup, right?
Well,
but we don't.
Technically, technically it is. Yeah.
Right.
That's why if you don't know what it is, you just say off speed.
Exactly.
Because that's anything other than a fastball.
But when you have 2 that are different.
Most changeups from a right-hand pitcher don't go from right to left and break like a slider. Most of them go down and maybe a little bit the other way.
2-0 pitch. Yeah, if it was his only changeup, right? If the only pitch that he threw as a quote-unquote changeup was the one that, breaks a little bit like that slider, say, okay, well, he's got a funky changeup, I guess. But when he has a changeup that breaks more like a traditional changeup, then it's hard to call the other one also a changeup.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
It's just weird. 2-2 the count on Goodrum.
Well, you could call it. You can throw a curveball and call it a fastball if you want to.
Yeah.
And that's the one you're talking about that goes the other way. K-Rod, when he first came up with the Angels, used to throw what to the eye was a curveball, a very hard, sharp breaking curveball. He called it a slider, so therefore everybody called it a slider. But if all you saw was the ball come to the plate and not know who the pitcher was, most people would say that's a curveball. That's the same with his changeup that breaks like a slider. Most people would say it's a slider.
Goodrum couldn't hold up. He went around, and that is strike 3. How about that? Leclerc strikes out the side in order.
That's pretty nice pitching right there. Last 4 hitters have all punched out. And there's the pitch we're talking about. The changeup that breaks like a slider.
Shields gets ready to bat. Well, I loved what he told me before the game after reaching base now in 16 straight games, that his dad told him when he was younger, your legs should always show up, that's your bread and butter. He said no matter if you're not swinging well, your legs should always be there. But he said, I really take care of them with speed and agility training. I wear recovery boots after the games to flush out bad tissue. He said even on days, guys, where his legs feel heavy, it doesn't look like it.
No, I would say not. I've never seen him look slow.
Nope, I haven't either. I've seen him lead off 3 times in this game and walk 3 times.
Johnny Barbado, a new pitcher, and he falls behind 2-0.
This would be something. If he, through 7 innings, he leads off every odd-numbered inning with a walk.
Hey, look at the in-game box score. And because Delino is walked every time, he hardly shows up. (3-0).
Well, on the season coming into the game, he had 73 at bats, more plate appearances than that, but 73 at bats. He'd walked 5 times, and he's on the verge of walking 4 times in 4 at bats in this game.
Takes a strike, 3-1.
If he walks, he'll come close to equaling his season total in 7 innings of 1 game.
Barbado, the former Pirate, just his 3rd game with the Tigers. 3-1 pitch, that's high. So indeed, he has walked all 4 times he has come up today. We'll see how long he stays at first.
In a one-run game, that's pretty much in the 7th inning. That's pretty much the last thing you want to see happen. Again, it's not that Delino can't hit. He's hitting 300 for the season. That means he makes an out 7 out of 10 times. Last thing with a guy with speed is to walk him, especially leading off an inning in a 1-run game.
Well, Shields bluffs. The bunt goes down the 3rd base side. And the throw to first in time, but nobody home at 3rd. And to Shields all the way to 3rd, but he slides through the bag and is tagged out. A great aggressive move, but unfortunately a good recovery by the Tigers. And that's a big double play.
Well, one thing we saw in a double play the other day was that Hicks really has a strong, accurate arm. He's been a catcher, and he looks like a catcher with the way he throws. And coming across the diamond is not a problem for him. Not many first basemen can throw like that. He sees him going. He just fires it over there accurately. Delino slides, and he slid past the bag, but it looked like Candelario slapped the tag on him before he got there anyway.
5-3-5 double play. Wow, that's a wild one. And now Daniel Stump will be coming in out of the pen for the Tigers. over the weekend. First 15,000 fans to the game on Sunday, May 27th. Are going to receive a Rangers cap courtesy of Carter Blood Care. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972.
20th game for Daniel Stumpf. Tigers have played 36 games, so he's appeared in more than half the games. Fewer innings than appearances, so for the most part he's coming in to face left-hand hitters. Seen him several times in this series now, and this is generally the time you see him, when Mazzara and Gallo are going to hit.
One and one the count. And Mazzara swings and hits this ball a ton out to center field. That one is history! Out of here! And Mazzara has tied the game.
Yeah, the lefty matchup against Nomar doesn't have quite the same effect by the opposing pitcher, opposing manager that it did the last couple of years. Much different right now. He's handling him very nicely. Pitch up and out over the middle of the plate. That one didn't stay in the park very long. That had people ducking about 10 rows back in right center field.
So a new game again, and Adrian Beltre takes a strike. Adrian 1 for 1 with a sacrifice fly and an intentional walk. Takes another beauty in the count 0-2. That's a 13th straight game now in which the Rangers have hit a home run. It's 1-2. Well, Beltre has thrived in these day games. 448 average. Third best in baseball. Stays 1-2. Boy, that home run went 447 feet. A double play now figures in pretty big this inning. Shields had been safe at third. And factored in a big way. 9 home runs for Mazzara, though. Stumps 1-2. The bouncer, shortstop, playable for Iglesias, and that will do it. But the Rangers knotted up again. Nomar Mazzara. He's been on a power surge in May. Launches this one to center, and we're even at 4.
Highlight the double plays in this game. In the second inning, Francisco Liriano struggling, gets out of the inning with a double play. Fourth inning, 2 men on, nobody out. Ryan Rua, line shot to center field, turns into a double play. Fifth inning, after a walk and a base hit, 4-6-3, double play, puts the end to a rally in the fifth inning. In the seventh inning, leadoff walk to Delino, a bunt, and an excellent throw by John Hicks, tagged by Candelario, and it's nobody on and 2 outs. But finally, without a rally, Nomar Mazara, 440 feet to center field, ties this game up as we head to the 8th inning. That's the 4-game summary.
Well, big swing by Mazara. So now the 8th inning. Kevin Jepson has come on to pitch, and his first offering to McCann right in the center of the strike zone for a strike. McCann had an RBI single his last time up and takes that one up near the bill of the cap.
And for Kevin Jepson, it'll be pretty much fastball, curveball, occasionally a changeup, but for the most part, batter has 2 choices, fastball and a curveball. 11-mile-an-hour differential between the 2 of them.
Now is 1-1. Just misses the corner. Six, 7, and 8 hitters for Detroit in this 8th inning. And he yelled off. It's 3-1. McCann has 3 hits in this series, including the one in the 6th inning today. He's had some very good at bats in this one today. In the 3-1 pitch, that is ball 4. So he draws the walk, lead man on in the 8th. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's throw it back once again to Rick Renner. All right, thanks, Rick. And you see right there, Victor Reyes pinch running for James McCann. We've seen this a handful of times in this series. And Reyes has come on for the DH to run. Griner, the hitter, and he fouls the first pitch off for strike 1. Griner is 1 for 3. Starting catcher today, and they do have some depth at the position. McCann out of the game now, the DH, after being lifted for the pinch runner. But Hicks, their first baseman, another catcher for this team. Griner, 2 hits in his big league career, one of them earlier today. So the 2nd inning. And he takes high, the count of 1-1. He got his first big league hit the other day in his first at bat. That was on Sunday at Kansas City. He had been recalled from AAA Toledo prior to that weekend series on Friday. Last year, spent most of the year at AA. He takes just off the plate, 2-1. Jepson is the 3rd reliever today, back of Bartolo Colon. Bartolo in 5 innings. Since then, it's been Jesse Chavez, Jose Leclerc, and now Jepson. And so here we are in a tie game. There's still more depth in that pen, as you see Jake Diekman apparently set to go if needed. No such thing as a must-win game this early in the year for anybody. But certainly a game the Rangers would dearly love to win. They have not yet won a home series, and they have a chance to do that today if they can figure out how to win this one. Angel Hernandez may have just missed a call here.
Well, last pitch is a curveball, and it was borderline. Definitely could have been a strike.
It's been one of those days where pitchers might tell you they feel the strike zone's a little tight. Bartolo Colon normally does not walk anybody. He walked one today. Jose Leclerc walked a hitter. Liriano walked 4, hit 2. (3-1) and a bouncer third base. Nunez will have no play at second. Goes to first, and Gallo can't hold on to it. Tried to throw back of Reyes, but that was just wishful thinking. An E5. And Nunez has had his trouble down at third. That opens up an opportunity here in the 8th inning for Detroit.
On that one, he had plenty of time to make the throw. He just threw it a little bit too low, and Joey had a hard time scooping it up. One of those balls that bounced a little bit too far away from him to get that short hop that you can just kind of pick with your glove and bounces right in your glove. When they're out that far, they're much more difficult to catch.
So 2 men on for Jose Iglesias, and he wants to bunt, but takes ball 1. 0 for 3 today. And Doug Brocail jogging out there real quickly to have a word with Jepsen and apparently the rest of the infield. Not much room for error.
Yeah, Kevin on the season now has pitched 15 1/3 innings and walked 10 batters, so command has been a little bit of an issue, and definitely in this game with the leadoff walk in the 8th inning. Now compounded with the error makes it a tough inning. Men on first and second and nobody out. Iglesias is probably bunting right here.
Corners are in.
Corners are in. Cosma's the next hitter's had a good day. A home run, a single, and scored a couple of times.
One 0, and that one taken low, so 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, Iglesias eyeballed that one just like Jurickson did earlier in the game. Been all the way down to watch it at eye level. 12 pitches, only 3 strikes so far from Kevin. It's the 0 in right here.
(2-0) bunted first base side. Gallo will go to first, so they'll take the out given to him. But Reyes is at third and Griner at second base. A sacrifice, a good one by Iglesias. That brings up the 9th place spot.
Victor Martinez, maybe.
Cosma's been called back. This is interesting given the day he's had, and so here comes Victor Martinez.
Yeah, it's tough not to go with Cosma right here based on the performance so far in this game. Based on the 2 hitters, it'd be tough not to go with Victor Martinez.
When you were having a good game, did you feel like it didn't matter who they brought in?
Yeah, I think most hitters feel that way. When you're feeling good, it doesn't really matter.
Well, Jepsen is done. Jeff Bannister goes into the bullpen, and we'll see who comes out. Tie game in the 8th. Tigers threatening. And we want to remind you, not want to miss T-Mobile Friday fireworks on Star Wars weekend. Come on out. It's May 25th. Royals and Rangers for the ball game, and then afterwards, our great post-game fireworks show set to the music from Star Wars. Fans can get $16 upper reserve tickets for this Friday home game thanks to Fox Sports Southwest and T-Mobile. So go to TexasRangers.com/specials. Get your tickets for T-Mobile Friday fireworks on Star Wars weekend.
Two choices for the hitter as we look at the pitch arsenal for Jake Diekman. Fastball, slider. 94 with a fastball, 82 with a slider. 60-40 split. Victor Martinez pinch hitting right here for Pete Kozma. Rangers playing the infield in.
Interesting. Go with the veteran switch hitter, even though Kozma was really swinging the hot bat. And this is a guy who knows how to drive him in. You look at Venezuelan-born players all time. Miguel Cabrera on the bench, injured, leads the pack. But there's Victor Martinez, 5th all time, just behind Maglio Ordonez. Big cat on that list. Two 2-0 the count to Martinez. Diekman fires, and that one, there's a strike call. 2-1. Well, he's done a good job as a pinch hitter, and not an easy gig. A .316 average all time. And that is well above league average in those situations. 2-1 pitch. Foltz on the outside corner. 2-2.
He missed with the first two pitches, which were fastballs, and then he threw his slider twice and dropped them both in for strikes. Now, one of the things that would make Victor Martinez a pretty good pinch hitter is the fact that he makes contact and doesn't strike out. We'll see if that's the case right here.
2-2 pitch, and he strikes out swinging. That's twice we've done that to him in this series. And a big strikeout right there.
He doesn't strike out very much, but he took a couple of sliders, and then Jake gave him his best fastball, tempting enough to get him to swing at it. Probably outside. You see him try to check his swing. That ball was way outside. Not even close. Carlos Perez had to reach to catch that one. That was about a foot outside. No, big strikeout there for Jake Diekman. 2nd and 3rd and only 1 out in a tie ball game.
Yeah, I think the Rangers may have caught a little bit of a break. Now, Kozma was maybe the one guy you just did not want to see this inning, and he's lifted for the pinch hitter. And it works out in Diekman's favor with the big strikeout. Now he needs just one more out to get out of this mess. Jones has had a good day, though. 2 for 3 with a walk. He's in a hole here, though. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, earlier Leclerc got a strikeout in the 6th inning to strand the bases loaded. Diekman coming off a big strikeout of Martinez. Would lead the go-ahead runs at 2nd and 3rd here in the 8th. Really give his team a shot. 0-2. Got him swinging. Inning is over. Back-to-back punch-outs by Jake Diekman.
Great job by Jake Diekman. Comes in 2nd and 3rd, facing the tough Victor Martinez, strikes him out. Then Jacoby Jones, with a couple of hits in the game, gets him to end the inning. Doug Brocail is happy to see that. Great job by Jake Diekman.
getting it done today. Big punch outs. There's also some excitement about Star Wars weekend coming up. First 15,000 fans to the ballpark Saturday, May 26th. Going to get a Star Wars and Gallo bobblehead, courtesy of Medical City Healthcare. Rangers and Royals, it's a 3:05 game. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972. All right, well, Gallo leading off this 8th inning. Dixon Machado has come on to play second base, with Cosma lifted for the pinch hitter. Hard throwing Joe Jimenez in the game, and he gets ahead here 0-2.
Numbers for Joe Jimenez. Another guy be appearing in his 20th game, more than half the Tiger games. Pretty good number of innings too, 17 innings.
Oh, 2 pitch. Gallo swings and misses, strike 3. So a tough day for Gallo. One out here in the 8th inning.
High heat, mid-90s fastball.
Well, they definitely have been disciplined with that approach with Joey Gallo in this series. Profar. A smile on his face, almost unbuckled his belt. Move his feet a little bit. Profar 0 for 2, was hit by a pitch earlier. And he takes a strike. It's 1-1. Four runs, 9 hits for Detroit. 4 runs, 5 hits for the Rangers. One of the stories today has been errors. Rangers have made a couple of them in the field. The other story, double plays. Boy, the Tigers have turned in a couple of really big ones today. 2-1 pitch. And that is off the plate. It'll be awesome to get Profar on here. Got a base runner in this 8th inning, a tie game. Put additional pressure on that Tigers bullpen. Three and 2. You said it earlier, Tom. Tigers bullpen not their strength, not even close. It's a young bullpen too. I feel like when you get in a game like this with a team like Detroit, you got to find a way to manufacture that run. Profar swings and misses, so Jimenez a couple of very big strikeouts. All right, time for a word from our friends at Southwest Kia.
$250 down, $250 a month or less on select new Kias in stock only at southwestkia.com.
It's going to be in the hands of Renato Nunez now. Nunez 1 for 2. 4-4 8th inning. Nunez had the infield hit, struck out his last time up. .96 miles per hour with that fastball, and Jimenez ahead 0-2.
Yep, pretty consistent with his command, pretty consistent with his velocity. 95 or 96, throwing a lot of strikes. 8 out of 11.
Swing and a miss. So Jimenez comes in. He strikes out the side in order in the 8th. So all tied at 4, and we go to the 9th inning.
Where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
4-4 into the 9th inning. Final game of this 3-game series. And Keone Kela on to pitch in this 9th inning.
And from Keone, you'll see a fastball and a curveball. A lot of curveballs. That many times can be his strikeout pitch. Maybe get ahead with a fastball, and then if he buries that overhand curveball a little bit below the strike zone, he gets a lot of swings and misses.
Well, he gets the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. And his first one, a good heater right in there for a strike to Candelario. Some other changes. Ronald Guzman comes in to play first base, and Joey Gallo out there in left. Yeah, you. One strike pitch. So Candelario a double, drove in a run, walked. And Kela got him to start after that one. Did he stop? He did. Bill Miller, crew chief, third base umpire, said he did not swing. Right on that line. Ground ball, second base. Nice job by Kiner Falefa. Been very true over there. One away. Just continues to be rock solid everywhere they put him on the infield.
The Tigers have used both of their left-handed relievers, and so leading off the 9th inning would have been Ryan Rua. Jeff Bannister is probably going to pinch hit for him anyway. So Ronald Guzman is a solid defensive player at first base. Maybe feel like you've got a better defensive team on the field because one of them is going to pinch hit anyway. So now he's just scheduled to be the leadoff hitter next inning.
Mikey Mato got under it. Shields dealing with that sun, and there are 2 gone in the 9th inning. So a day off tomorrow for the Rangers, but then it's Houston starting Friday, and Justin Verlander, a couple of days ago we were told he was going to go on Saturday. It was moved up earlier today. So Verlander will have the ball in the opener against Cole Hamels. Great pitching matchup there. It'll be the opening game of a 3-game set down in Houston. Our pregame coverage starting at 6:30. Our forward probables. And now John Hicks, who is 0 for 4 today, takes ball 1. Kela, fastball right past him. 1-1.
Yeah, I guess what you'd love to see right here is a less than 10 pitch inning, so that if the Rangers don't score in the bottom of the 9th, you could still use Keone another inning. At least have the option.
1-2 the count. We're coming right after him with the heater. See if he does it again. If he drops in that nasty curveball. Fastball away. Long look. And now the 2-2. Just missed. Ooh. But it was a little low. Full count now. Both teams deep into their bullpens already. Kela's the 5th man out of the pen this afternoon. 3-2. A swing and a miss, strike 3. Another strikeout to end an inning. Kelly gets to the 9th unscathed, and now the Rangers can win it in the last of the 9th. Guzman will lead it off. Perez and DeShields do. Local Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. Back and forth we've gone this afternoon, and here we sit tied at 4, bottom of the 9th inning. Rangers with a chance to walk one off here. Warwick Soppold is a new pitcher, and this is his 11th appearance for the Tigers. And Guzman takes strike 1. And we saw Soppold in this series. Would have been in Monday's game. He pitched the final scoreless frame in that one. And the Rangers won 7-6. There's a bouncer, and that one through. Base hit out into right center. Lead man on in the 9th inning.
We've seen a lot of leadoff men get on base. Rangers have scored a couple of times when their leadoff man has gotten on and been thwarted by double plays a couple of times too. Good sinking pitch by Soppold, but Ronald was able to get the bat on it. Hit a chopper, but had a little top spin on that one. Got by Dixon Machado into right center field. Elvis likes the rally.
So Perez will bunt him up. Down the first baseline, Hicks will take care of it. Over to Machado, one away, but the winning run in scoring position.
The center fielder, Delano DeShields.
And it brings up Delano DeShields. All he has done is walk all 4 times he's come to the plate.
He's not leading this inning off, so I don't think he's going to walk this time. Instead, maybe a nice little line drive right center.
Guzman out at second. Corners are in. And Delano takes low for a ball. 4 walks in a game. He's on the verge of a franchise record. Milton Bradley and Mark Teixeira, the only Rangers who have ever walked 5 times in a game. I'm sure he'd much rather have that game-winning hit. Shoots it to the right side, foul and out of play. Delano provided a walk-off winner last year. I want to say it was against Kansas City. One down in the dirt. Haven't had a walk-off win yet this year. Inside, 3-1. I don't know, Tom.
He might do it.
He might just do it.
He's got a force shield around the home plate today.
Guzman with that lead. And a bouncer left side charging. Candelario throws to first. And they just get to Shields. Guzman now 90 feet away. But there are 2 out.
The second baseman, Isaiah Kiner-Falapa.
Isaiah's had a good day today. He had a triple to knock in a run. He had a single. A couple of hits today. And finish it off with one more. Family would love to see that. I'd love to see it for their family.
His dad, Feely, there he is. Mom, Kim, sitting behind. They've been patiently watching. Now, he did deliver a couple of big ones on Monday. He takes a strike, count 1-1. But this would be a hoot right here. He's got Guzman at third base. It's 1-2. Or Soppold trying to force extra innings today. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it bounces up there. Boy, that's a good block.
Testing Grayson Griner with those last 2 pitches, winning run at third base. He smothered both of them. Not trying to catch it, he's just trying to make sure he keeps it in front of him.
Well, infield back, outfield shaded a little to right. The 2-2. Fly ball out there to right field. Goodrum has a beat on it, and the inning is done. So the Rangers lead the winning run at third base, and we've got extra innings this afternoon. 10th inning coming up. Kella was really good in the 9th inning, out here in the 10th. Nick Goodrum will be the first man he deals with, and Goodrum sends this ball out sharply to right field, and that one off the base of the fence. And he will start the 10th with a leadoff double.
Well, Keone tried to get ahead with a fastball, and Goodrum jumped on the fastball. Second double he had. He led off the 6th inning with a double and scored. He jumps on that 95-mile-an-hour fastball and ripped it into the gap. So you've got a man at second leading off the 10th with solid speed. Pretty quick inning for Keone in the 9th. Only 11 pitches. That's why he's back out for the 10th. That plus tomorrow's an off day. Gives you that day to get ready for the Houston series.
9th double in this series by the Tigers. And Goodrum out there in scoring position. This one fouled off for a strike.
Victor Reyes is the hitter. He was a Rule 5 draft pick, which means he has to stay in the big leagues. He had a good minor league career. He's almost a 300 hitter in the minor leagues. Has some speed. They have to keep him all year. They're pinch running him, trying to get him as much playing time. But after he pinch ran for James McCann, now in extra innings, he gets the at bat.
He was trying to bunt, this time swinging away, in the count 0-2. And this happened again the other night, right, where he pinch ran late, thinking maybe that would sort of be it, but then he came up later. I thought.
Can't remember.
Yeah, no, I think he pinch ran in the 8th inning yesterday, and then he got an at bat in the 9th, grounded out. He also pinch ran in the 9th inning Monday. 0-2 pitch, and he swings and misses. Strikeout for Kella. One away.
Yeah, that curveball from Keone is going to be a really tough matchup for a young player coming up from the minor leagues as a Rule 5 draft choice. He had a shot he fouled off the bunt. Fouled off the next pitch, and once he got behind in the count, he has to contend with that, and he wasn't able to lay off that curveball. A lot of hitters much more experienced than he have tried to do that and not succeeded as well.
It's now Griner, and he swings and misses at the high fastball. Griner, another young one, just 25 years old, a rookie. Made his big league debut less than a week ago. Has 2 hits so far this season. One of them today, an infield hit. That one way in. Griner, a top flight collegiate catcher at University of South Carolina. He was a Johnny Bench semifinalist his senior season. A nice career at South Carolina. Really good baseball program. Breaking ball, and this one fouled away. Griner stays alive. Nearly a great play. To our right, the front row of our section. Fan reached over with the glove, couldn't quite hold it.
Heartbreaking. Bring the glove, get the chance. Just like you'll never forget it when you catch one, you'll probably never forget it when you have a chance to catch one.
I waited 10 innings.
That's okay. Don't get disappointed. One might come right at you again. Pretty good spot for a foul ball.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kella.
I think one of the keys to try to hit Keone is don't get behind and let him drop that curveball, because you're going to have a hard time contending with it, just like Victor Reyes and Grayson Griner did.
All right, so Kella, leadoff double, then back-to-back strikeouts. Needs one more. Jose Iglesias swings and misses. This one goes to the backstop. Goodrum up to third base. And here comes Jeff Bannister. He's saying that was foul tipped. And he was all over that one. Let's take a look. Oh.
I don't know.
Hard to tell, but it looks like maybe just a tiny sliver. You know, it'll go as a wild pitch. And a big one. Goodrum is now at third base. Fouled away. 0-2 the count.
Well, now Jose Iglesias is in the same position the previous two hitters were in, down in the count with 2 strikes, and Keone Keller with that curveball. Generally, a foul tip is not that much of an issue because the umpire can hear it. So if he didn't hear it, it's tough to know whether it was a foul tip or not.
0-2 pitch, and Iglesias bounces it up the middle. Profar charges, throws, and the inning is done. So we go to the bottom of the 10th. Part of the order coming: Nomar Mazara, Adrian Beltre, and Joey Gallo in a tie game. Series in Houston in mid-April. Saturday, a 10-inning win. Jose Guzman, some huge hits. The next night on the near no-hitter by Bartolo Colon, and it was all about Guzman again and Robinson Chirinos. And then in Cleveland, we went 12 innings, but back-to-back home runs in the 12th. Gallo and Kiner Falefa. And the Rangers took that one as well. 8-6 the final. They've won all 3 extra innings games so far this year, and a chance to go 4-0 if they can scratch out a run here in the 10th.
Well, they've got some pretty good guys coming up that can end the game with one swing of the bat. Nomar Mazara has hit his 9th home run. He had 20 each of the last 2 years. He got 9 already. It's like a breakthrough home run season for Nomar.
Hammers this ball down the right field line. If it stays fair, it's gone! A howitzer down the line. And the Rangers get their first walk-off win of the year. A 2-homer day for Mazara. He has 10 for the season, and the Rangers with their first home series win this season.
Tied it in the 7th and won it in the 10th. One went 440 feet. This one went about 360 feet. And both of them got out of the ballpark in a hurry. To see the exit speed of this rope. The only question was whether it would stay fair, but one of those 115-mile-an-hour bullets. That's one Nomar says when he hits it good, he doesn't even feel it. He probably didn't feel that one then, but that got out of here in a hurry.
117 miles per hour off the bat, and it was an absolute rocket. 416 feet. But most importantly, the result, it stayed fair. It gave the Rangers the win this afternoon, 5-4, our final score in 10 innings. All right, a series win at home. First walk-off win of the year. And Rangers keep that perfect record going in extra innings. They're now 4. And, well, guess who? Leslie McCaslin standing by with the hero.
Good. Oh, my God.
All right, Nomar, tell them what you're telling me right now. I think he just said that water is going to feel good, guys. Connect on both of those home runs?
I was looking, try to look for a pitch up in the sun and just, I've been feeling pretty good lately. Just trying to keep my hands on my body and put a good swing on the ball.
The first walk-off for this team at home and also the first home series win. How good does this feel?
Feels good, We've been battling, We're doing a better job, moving the lineup. The pitchers doing a better job too, Just completely, we're playing better as a team, so hopefully we continue to do that.
Yeah, to get this win, Beltre's back. Hopefully Odor is back soon. Does it feel like you guys are moving in the right direction?
Yeah, we're moving in the right direction. But we got Beltre back. That guy 2 days, like 5 RBIs. How he does it? But we got to continue to step up and try to win ball games.
All right, congrats on the win and the walk-off. Thanks.
Yeah, that was a beauty today. A lot of fun. Nomar Mazara providing the heroics, and the Rangers with the 5-4 win. Still so much more to talk about in this one. Rick Renner, Pudge Rodriguez, and Mark McLemore back in the studios to break it all down for us. For Tom Grieve, Leslie McCaslin, and our entire hardworking crew, I'm Dave Raymond, inviting you to stay with us. More Rangers coverage continuing right after this.